Welcome to the Collective Minds podcast.
It's never fucking had it.
Shut no way.
Never fucking had
way.
it.
Like, Austin, you trying to tell us something else right now?
As humans, everybody lives in the same reality. You know, we could all be in the same room together, but we perceive it differently.
All that experience, all that emotions, all the things that happen in that one life is boiled down to what we call instinct. And that's the only thing we can bring over to the next level.
If you don't behave, you'll be canceled.
Coincidence, coincidence, coincidence. There cannot be three. All right. Hello and welcome everyone back to the Collective Minds podcast. Just a little refresher, reminder. For those of you that support us, make sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. If this is your first time, welcome. We are continuously growing and getting better at what we do, which is just make videos about conspiracies, mysteries, politics, news, just for you. Tons of videos here, guys. Go make sure to check them out. I reference them all the time when we're doing the big live episodes with the guys. Tons of references here. Pretty sure if you want to know about something, go look through and you'll find it. So page after page after page. And some of them I like to do like this, where it's quick, just a couple minutes. So at that, let's get into it. So U.S. government reports say that fluoride at twice the recommended limit is linked to lower IQ in children. What does this mean? I mean, we already know about fluoride. And if you don't, well, let's find out a little bit more. It's how they release the information. It's the tip of the iceberg. Okay, it's not all great and wonderful. And this is hilarious because I just went to the dentist. And yes, you don't have to do the fluoride cleaning that they want you to do. It's very interesting. And then my dentist, they'll refer you to go and get a fluoride mouthwash, not a regular mouthwash, a fluoridated mouthwash. So let's find out about this. This is New York AP. U.S. government report expected to stir debate concluded that fluoride in drinking water at twice the recommended limit is linked with lower IQ in children. Yeah, I've known this for a while. And, knowing is half the battle. The other half is doing something about it. Because if you don't, you're just as guilty. And I got some pretty smart kids, not trying to brag. The report, based on an analysis of previously published research, marks the first time a federal agency has determined with moderate confidence that there is a link between higher levels of fluoride exposure and lower IQ in children. While the report was not designed to evaluate the health effects of fluoride in drinking water alone, it is a striking acknowledgement of a potential neurological risk from high levels of fluoride. Fluoride strengthens teeth and reduces cavities by replacing minerals lost during normal wear and tear. Allegedly. So they'll tell you that. But how many of you out there it seems like a battle, right? You always got to brush your teeth more than the recommended amount just to get some action, some whiteness. I'm not saying you got dirty mouths out there. I'm just saying it's pretty obvious. This stuff doesn't work. As it goes, while the report was not designed, already hit that, neurological risk from high levels of fluoride. Fluoride strengthens teeth and reduces cavities by replacing minerals lost during normal wear and tear. That's weird. What's it replacing the minerals with? Because it's not a mineral, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. Yep, you heard it here first, folks. CDC, and prevention. The addition of low levels of fluoride to drinking water has long been considered one of the greatest public health achievements of the last century. That's insane. So their achievements are based on how well they can trick the human population. Yeah, we actually allowed them to put neurotoxins and byproducts of nuclear energy and like metal, rock, all the gases in there compressed into a liquid form into our drinking water, and we say it's okay. This goes, I think this report is crucial in our understanding of this risk, said Ashley Mullin, a University of Florida researcher who has studied the effect of higher fluoride levels in pregnant women on their children. She called it the most rigorously conducted report of its kind. I think there's a reason. There's always a reason, but I think there's a good reason they're coming out with this. They're going to start blaming the autism and, go to a public school. If you got kids, you know. A lot of kids are just dumb. And kids have been dumb forever, right? Not in the same way. Between the brain rot, is what they're calling it, from the internet, and the radiation, and all the terrible food, and the clothes in the air they breathe, there's the water. And this is it. Fluoride, in today's day and age, is just one of the things you got to worry about. If you're not filtering your water right now at home, I use Alexa Pure, which is just a couple $100, few $100 investment, and you can switch it out every 6 months. The filters, which are about $100 a pop. And you can throw 4 of them in that jug. I got a big family here, and we use it every day. It's the only water we drink. And you know when the filtration works, because it's not just the flavor that changes from the water in the sink. The other day, my wife actually told me, I can't even wash my mouth out after brushing my teeth without feeling how gross the water from the sink is coming out. So also, get a filtration system for when you shower, because your body does absorb those things. Absolutely. It's getting crazy out here, people, to the point they have to start releasing little bits of information. Little bits, pieces of the truth. Because pretty much nothing makes sense. And these conglomerate giant organizations and the government has put themselves in every corner of the wall that they're starting to point at themselves. So the government is hinting at fluoride being bad if it's doubled. And it's in your water. But drink a lot of water, guys. So it goes, the long-awaited report released Wednesday comes from the National Toxicology Program, part of the Department of Health and Human Services. It summarizes a review of studies conducted in Canada, China, India, Iran, Pakistan, and Mexico that concludes that drinking water containing more than 1.5 milligrams of fluoride per liter is consistently associated with lower IQ in kids. The report did not try to quantify exactly how many IQ points might be lost at different levels of fluoride exposure, but some of the studies reviewed in the report suggest IQ was 2 to 5 points lower in children who'd had higher exposures. They're missing a lot of data here. How early in age, right? The smaller they are, the more it'll affect them, and the amount of time over the years. You know, you look at a baby from birth all the way till he or she is 18. How many IQ points is that? Since 2015, federal health officials have recommended a fluoridation level of 0.7 milligrams per liter of water. And for 5 decades before, the recommended upper range was 1.2. The World Health Organization has set a safe limit for fluoride in drinking water of 1.5. Interesting. The report said that about 0.6% of the U.S. population, about 1.9 million people, are on water systems with naturally occurring fluoride levels of 1.5 milligrams or higher. I would love for them, I hope they explain it. Natural means you're dumping it into the woods and it's slowly going down through the streams and the creeks and the rivers, and that's where they're getting it. That's natural. The findings from this report raise the questions about how these people can be protected and what makes the most sense, Mullins said. The 324-page report did not reach a conclusion about the risks of lower levels of fluoride, saying more study is needed. It also did not answer what high levels of fluoride might do to adults. Why not? The American Dental Association, which champions water fluoridation, had been critical of earlier versions of the new analysis in Mullen's research. Asked for comment, a spokeswoman late Wednesday afternoon emailed that the organization's experts were still reviewing the report. Fluoride is a mineral that exists naturally in water and soil. Okay. Here's the thing, though. The fluoride they're putting in your water is not a mineral that you need or your body needs. And it's not natural. Just like anything. Go grab a box of cereal the next time you're in the grocery store. Start reading the back of it. Or anything. It's hard to find what's, even the real stuff is sprayed with. Go grab an apple. Go try to get the wax off that apple without boiling it for 10 seconds and then scrubbing the shit out of it. About 80 years ago, scientists discovered that people whose water supplies naturally had more fluoride also had fewer cavities, triggering a push to get more Americans to use fluoride for better dental health. Interesting. Yeah, probably because they didn't have teeth, would be my guess on that one. But yeah, here's the thing, just like with the doctors. The dentists don't want you to have good teeth because they would stop making money. That's it. Officials lowered the recommendation for drinking water fluoride levels in 2015 to address a tooth condition called fluorosis that can cause splotches on teeth and was becoming more common in U.S. kids. Separately, the Environmental Protection Agency has maintained a long-standing requirement that water systems cannot have more than 4 milligrams of fluoride per liter. That standard is designed to prevent skeletal fluorosis, a potentially crippling disorder which causes weaker bone stiffness and pain. Radiation poisoning. But more and more studies have increasingly pointed to a different problem, suggesting a link between higher levels of fluoride and brain development. Researchers wondered about the impact on developing fetuses and very young children who might ingest water with baby formula. Not my babies. Studies in animals showed fluoride could impact neurochemistry, cell function, and brain regions responsible for learning, memory, executive function, and behavior. In 2006, the National Research Council, a private nonprofit organization in Washington, D.C., said limited evidence from China pointed to neurological effects in people exposed to high levels of fluoride. It called for more research into the effects of fluoride on intelligence. After more research continued to raise questions, the National Toxicology Program in 2016 started working on a review of the available studies that could provide guidance on whether new fluoride limiting measures were needed. Of course not. There were earlier drafts, but the final document has repeatedly been held up. At one point, a committee of experts said available research did not support an earlier draft's conclusions. Of course they didn't. Since fluoride is such an important topic to the public and to public health officials, it was imperative that we made every effort to get the science right. So you didn't agree with what they came out with because they had some real data. So you said draft it again. The director of National Toxicology Program. In a statement, Mullen said it makes sense for pregnant women to lower their fluoride intake, not only from water, but also from certain types of tea. What are you talking about? The fluoride is in the toothpaste. It might also make sense to have policy discussions about whether to require fluoride content on beverage labels. Oh, great, she said. Yeah, that would make sense. You're supposed to have a label for everything. Interestingly, though, we still send our kids to school, and they have the, the dentists come out and they put a cup of fluoride in a cup, and all these kids sit there, and I know they're still doing it because I got to sign a paper every year saying no way. No way. So there's enough kids that are doing it that it's worth their time and money to go. So where does fluoride come from? We're not going to really dive into this, but it says soil, water, plants, and foods contain trace amounts of fluoride. Most of the fluoride that people consume comes from fluoridated water. Foods and beverages prepared with fluoridated water, and toothpaste and other dental products containing fluoride. Although fluoride is used industrially in a fluorine compound, the manufacture of ceramics, pesticides, aerosol propellants, refrigerants, glassware, and Teflon cookware, it is a generally unwanted byproduct of aluminum, fertilizer, and iron ore manufacture. So, let us know what you think, and we'll catch you on the next one. Make sure to filter your water, no matter where it's coming from, and keep them kids safe. We are